Hello, I'm Eric Hunter. No longer in front of a curtain. The nearest curtain's 1,000 miles from here, in fact. We've decided to rebrand here behind the curtain. We've got this beautiful new studio. It's amazing. Can you believe it? Behind the curtain actually got funding. No, we got kicked out of our old studio. But nonetheless, here behind the curtain, we showcase student productions, whether it be short films for class, a personal project, or even a feature film. And this week, I'm sitting down with Joey Still, who made an Adidas Spec Ad following a student athlete who wrestles here at IU. So let's take a look.
It's more than just wrestling. I started wrestling when I was 4 years old. Almost 20 years later, this sport has taught me lessons I'll never forget. Most importantly, I'm in control of my own destiny. A wrestling match is between two people. There's no one to turn to when things get hard in the midst of a 7-minute match. It's all up to me. I've applied this mindset to life off the mat. I knew from a pretty young age that I was different. And in order to accomplish the crazy goals I have, it's going to take an insane amount of work.
He has been close as well before. 2 fifth-place finishes in the NCAA championships.
The sport proves time and time again that you get out of life exactly what you put into it. Wrestling matches are often won in training, long before the whistle blows under the lights. Not unlike wrestling, life is about the journey, not the destination. I have dreams and aspirations that'll scare a lot of people, myself included, but I'm prepared for it. Wrestling has taught me to focus on the here and now, to be where my feet are. This is why I wrestle. It's hard, harder than anything else I've ever done. By far, but I will forever cherish the lessons learned along the way. And when life gets hard, I'll resort back to the basics. Just keep wrestling.
Welcome back. We're here with Joey Still. Joey, thanks so much for being on the show today.
Thank you, man.
Right before the cameras came up and the lights shone on us, Joey explained to me that Joey Stills is not his real name. That's all I know about him. So, Joe, would you care to share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Joseph Nieto. I grew up in Kokomo, Indiana. Growing up, I was into sports a lot because my dad forced me to. So, that, led to high school, me and being in sports and, doing track and field and wrestling. And then I noticed my friends, they, would film student section football games. And I would see the chemistry they would have between, the audience, the fans with their cameras. And people would just have this crazy energy whenever they seen it. I was like, wow, that's insane. And whenever, those videos would be displayed to the public in our schools, people would love them. So that kind of inspired me to pick up a camera and kind of do the same thing and follow their footsteps. And whenever I made my own first video, I was just in love with the process of just editing and just putting a whole video together. And then, that eventually transitioned to me to make, music videos. And I learned how to, edit more, crazier stuff like After Effects, and just got a handle of Premiere. I was like kind of professional in my opinion, because I just was always in the summertime, just learning how to edit. And when I went to IUK my first year, I was doing music videos, but I wasn't really doing it. And then when I transferred to Bloomington, I was like, I want to stop music videos. I want to kind of have a niche and focus on something else. So I started to do, sports videos, and, it led me here.
Right on, man. That's cool to hear how you progressed into a more professional outlook on the business, and you were really serious about it after you really got into it. You mentioned you were in a lot of sports as a kid. Is that specifically where the inspiration for this Adidas Spec Ad came from?
Yeah. So basically, I saw that IU is a big, Adidas, sports, college. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, I was a wrestler my whole life. It only made sense for me to reach out to a wrestler. I was fortunate enough, my friend Jonathan Moran, who's a wrestler for the IU wrestling team, he was down, he was hyped actually. And he allowed me in the facility and kind of gave us flexibility to do anything we wanted. And it helped me make that Keep Wrestling video. And it was really a big help for him to allow me and my team to have a lot of creative aspect, free space, I guess you could say, more creative control.
Okay, well that's cool to hear that you wrestled for like a while then in high school, I guess.
In high school, but up to I was like 8, like a while.
Wow, that's really cool. I don't have any experience with wrestling. I tried out for it once, and the partner I was assigned, I bit his thigh like 30 seconds into it because I got really scared.
Yeah.
So I was like banished from wrestling. So
you just stopped after that.
Yeah, you just don't bite people's thighs usually. But so was this your first spec ad you've ever tried to produce and get recognized for?
Yeah, it was definitely my first spec ad. I was really inspired by another filmmaker on YouTube. His name is, I think, Danny Gerverts. It's one of those. But he made a Brooks spec ad, and it kind of inspired me. I want to make it something like that, and it led to that film.
Would you like to get into advertising, I guess, advertisement filmmaking in the future, specifically Adidas? Are you more of a Nike kind of guy, or just like anything you can get?
Anything I can get. I'm not it's a one-all be-all.
Yeah.
Like if any brand wants to take, a risk and collab with me, it's going to be the best risk ever, because there's not going to be any risk at all.
Yeah.
I should say, because I have a lot of passion towards what I do, and I come at it with a professional, outlook. I'm always looking at how can I be a better director. Who can help me make this film better. Mm-hmm. So I think, when it comes to films, I'm always open to any opportunity when it comes to, sports related.
Any future spec ads in the works?
Yeah. I mean, it might be too early to say, but I might be working with a brand right now. I'm not going to really mention it until it happens, but it's going to be for a little 500.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had experience with this in the past, working with other people, making spec ads specifically? Is this like for those people who are watching, who are interested in this sort of thing, is this a good method for finding work?
For spec ads?
Yeah, to get recognized, I guess.
Very important. If let's say right now, I'm gonna just give a tip for all filmmakers. If you've never made a coffee commercial, right, and you think you're gonna straight up make a professional coffee commercial, that coffee company's not gonna want to hire you. Why? Because they've never seen no type of work you've done that's related to the coffee industry, right? So you should always take it upon yourself to use your time to make something great, so then you can show companies that, hey, I have experience. Mm-hmm. Because people are visual people, right? So when they see that you actually done it, they're gonna take that risk and want to hire you for that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, portfolio work is very important for people, and it doesn't matter what you do. If you can always replicate to other people that you know what you're doing, it's very important for that.
That's very cool. Speaking of coffee, I really liked this spec ad you made specifically for Adidas. I thought it could serve as one for Keurig as well, because he woke up in the morning and got his coffee right before he started his day. But yeah, speaking on the film a little bit more, I really enjoyed it. It was really like professionally done, and even for an ad, it was like entertaining. It had like a story and everything, which like you don't usually see in like sports ads. It's usually like, yeah, I'm a runner.
Yeah.
I have asthma attacks for breakfast, but like in your film specifically, there was like some really good writing, and I'm curious, was that you who wrote that, or did you have someone else write that? That was all you?
No, it was the actual wrestler himself. He
cool.
was to go into acting and like do Hollywood, and I was like asking him, and this is me being a good director. I was like, I want you to list, a good storyline of what wrestling means to you. You know what I'm saying? And he wrote it in a whole paragraph, and I reread it, and I didn't have to tweak it or anything. I'm like, yeah, that's it. I like that. And from a creative aspect, I storyboarded it along with what he was saying, and that's how the film kind of correlated with what he said.
That's awesome. That's like perfect collaboration. That's really cool. So you say, what was this guy's name, the subject of this film?
His name is Jonathan Moran.
Jonathan?
He's the main actor. He's a wrestler.
And you mentioned he wants to go into like acting and stuff like this. So there were a lot of scenes where he's wrestling, he's going really hard. Was that like prop sweat or was that real sweat?
It was actually, I would say both, but like
Yeah.
I always carry like a spray bottle,
Okay.
and I always spray athletes
To
with
supplement his sweat.
Exactly, because sometimes it would be hard for someone just to sweat, you
Yeah.
know, like on demand. So
It's hard to self-moisten, I'd say, especially on camera.
yeah.
But yeah, very very cool film overall. I really enjoyed it. So what would you like to make spec ads for any other particular sport, or is wrestling really your passion?
Honestly, any sport. I don't want, like I said, I don't want to put myself in a box. I'm a creative director. I like to do anything I feel like I'm inspired by. So more than just wrestling, football, golf. I don't really care what it is. If I feel like passionate about it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, I think if you ever sought out those experiences, you definitely do well in them. I thought, again, this was really professionally done. I really enjoyed it. One of my favorite scenes specifically in it was whenever he's wrestling in the dark by himself, and then it cuts back and forth. It juxtaposes him with a partner in the lights beneath the lights whenever they're off, whenever he's alone, and it goes back and forth. He had very deliberate cinematography in this, and I really enjoyed it. It was really awesome, and evidently other people have recognized that because this is going to be showing in the Montage Film Festival this weekend, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to give credit to my team too, though. I didn't really do all the shooting. It was my friends who I hired onto the team, Foursquare Films, who directed with the director of photography position. They shot it while I directed the division, right? So I just want to give the proper credits. I don't want to say I did everything.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? The only thing I did was the creativeness of directing it and editing it, and I did the sound design with it too.
Right.
But I led a team with great creative people, and it made the film for what it is.
Yeah, a good director always gives props to his teams. To his team. It's very admirable. So, are you excited for the upcoming Montage Film Festival? Are you and your team confident? And what have you been nominated for?
Nonfiction, editing, and cinematography.
Okay.
I think
Wonderful.
I should have been nominated for director, if I'm being honest. I'm just saying. I'm not gonna have a Kanye West moment saying.
I was about to say, maybe you can take the mic at the Montage. Not that I'm condoning that, but make for good TV.
Maybe.
I'll be there. So.
It's senior year, man. I mean,
It is
crazy
senior
things.
year. I don't know.
But honestly, my expectations for the film altogether, or the festival, I'm glad I take anything. I'm honored to even be a part of it.
Right.
This is like one of my first, film festivals I've ever been a part of. So, I'm excited.
And this was like one of the first films you've made as far as spec ads.
Yes.
And that's very cool that it's got into a festival.
For sure,
So
man.
that's like a good sign, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, I want to say thanks for being on the show, man. It's been awesome, dude.
Thank you,
Absolutely. And thank you for tuning in. As always, if you or a friend or anyone you know is interested in submitting a student production to be featured here on our show, the link's right here at the bottom of the screen. And if you're more of a copy and paste kind of person, it's in the description too. So until next time, I'm Eric Hunter. This is Joey Stills, and this has been Behind the Curtain.